Hey everyone, welcome to this week's weekly options watch list. Hope you all had a wonderful long extended weekend and happy 4th of July to everyone as well. So before I get into the 5 plays I'm looking at for the upcoming week, I want to do a quick breakdown of the ES futures here and where we could potentially see the market go this week. So let's get into it. So if we zoom in here, we can see that the market's still in a strong downtrend. We have our negatively stacked EMAs in a deceleration stage, and we're trading below the daily 21 EMA. So we had this large flush where we created this gap here a few weeks ago, and then last week we did get the fill of that gap, which was coincided right with the 21 EMA. It then proceeded to reject that level down to the downside, but it could not break out of this -1 ATR region. So that's what I'll be watching closely this week, is to see if we can get a reclaim of this 21 and make a little push higher, or if we finally do get a few closes below that -1 ATR, then we should go either retest the lows or make even brand new lows here on the market. And the reason I think we can easily continue to see more selling is if we go to a weekly time frame and we zoom in here, we can see that this low compression squeeze has fired to the downside. We now have 4 weeks of it firing, and typically a squeeze will last anywhere from 5 to 8 bars. So we technically could still have right around 2 to 4 weeks of selling still, and its trend here is also still very bearish as well. And another thing that I am keeping my eye on, if I zoom out here, is potentially a bottom on the market. Is I took this COVID low here up to our all-time highs with our Fibonacci to get a few levels to keep looking at, and we've broken past these first two ones before. We did reclaim it here, but it's looking like we're wanting to break back down below it, and I think that a great place of support could be this 50% retracement, which is right around that 3,500 region, which is a nice psychological number for the market as well. So definitely keep your eye going forward for that level, and keep your eyes on these Fibonacci's going forward as well. So that's kind of where I'm seeing this market going for this upcoming week, and now we'll get into the actual plays that I have my eyes on. We'll start off here with AMC. And if we zoom in here, we don't have stacked DMAs, but its structure is looking relatively well compared to the whole entire market with the large sell-off, because we are holding above that 21 EMA here. We have nice bullish momentum on the squeeze histogram, so I do actually like AMC to the upside here. Ideally want to see it continue to hold this 21 EMA, and if it can't, then the trade is no longer valid. But if it can continue to hold this, I think we can make another push up here into the +2 or even the +3 ATR, with AMC usually being a little bit more of a volatile stock. We can usually see it make some more drastic moves. Next one I have on my list here is CME. It was in a very, very strong sell-off, and now it's kind of starting to catch its breath a little bit right around the 21. Went up and tried to push above it, but couldn't really get that sustained. And then this squeeze also started to kind of roll over and lose that bullish momentum, and we are closing right below that 21 EMA, and we don't have stacked EMAs. So I think that this squeeze will continue to push this one lower to the downside, retesting these -2 or -3 ATR levels here on CME. So that one looks good in my opinion to the downside, as long as it can hold below that 21 EMA. Next one here is GameStop. It's funny to have two stocks that are both meme stocks, AMC and GME, in one stock watch list, but they both have valid setups for the strategies that I use. And this one, opposite of AMC, I actually want this one to the downside. So we can see that price action has been holding below this 21 EMA here now for a few days. Has been holding this 50 simple, so do want to see a break of that level for sure. But love that we have a great bearish momentum on the squeeze histogram here with that price action below, and we do not have any stacked EMAs. So I do like GameStop here to the downside. Just once again want to make sure it stays below that 21 EMA, and would love to see a break below this 50 simple moving average as well. I think that would give it the nice momentum to continue to flush to the downside. Next one here to the upside is JD. So this one, every time it's pulled back here to the 21, has basically held, didn't even really touch this one here, but got close. So what I'm looking for this one is to see another reversion back down to this 21 EMA before I take an entry on this one long. Do like that the daily squeeze is starting to set up here with a histogram above that zero line. Ideally want to see the bullish bars on it, but I like its overall structure here. And ideally would love to see some positively stacked EMAs here on this one as well, but its overall structure has been bullish here for the last few weeks, with price action respecting that 21 EMA nicely. And as I said before, look for that entry on that reversion back here, and then it should make another push like it has before up into that +2 or even that +3 ATR. And then last but not least here we have Zoom, and this one is a trade to the downside. So we have no stacked EMAs. Its price action was holding well above this 21 EMA and respecting that, and now it is finally starting to not respect that anymore. So I will change my viewpoint on it, where here I would have been looking long, but now that we're not holding above that 21, I will start to look short on this. And I also like this one because we do have this nice daily squeeze. The histogram is starting to fall here, so I do think this week we could see this one fall into the bearish momentum with the red bars here. And as long as this can hold below that 21 EMA and not reclaim that level, I think this one will be a solid trade to the downside, as long as the rest of the market goes along as well. I do think that we do see some more selling here in the market, so a lot of my plays here were to the downside, but that does not mean we cannot find bullish trades as well in this market. So these are the 5 stocks I'm looking at for the upcoming week. Hopefully it gives you all a few other things you can also keep your eyes on, and a few other things on the ES and overall market as a whole. And once again, happy 4th of July everyone, and have a great trading week.